Hi guys. Welcome to the YouTube channel. So it's been a quite a long time that I have not uploaded technology related video to my YouTube channel, right? So I don't know whether my audience has disappointed, right? So really sorry if I've been bored with my last two videos. I mean, I was uploading two videos. You can see those in the screen now, right? So these are mainly related to my day-to-day life, right? So which are not related to any technology. I mean, these are not any technology-related content, right? So it's about how my day-to-day life was and the things that I've been doing for last couple of months, right? So really sorry if you are disappointed with those, but I could see that many people were commenting and putting some messages to my group, right? So seems to be there's few people there who is interested in those kind of vlog type videos too, right? So anyway, so today I thought about that I should continue my technology related videos too in the channel because my majority of audience expecting me to do some kind of a technology related video, and so they can learn something from me, right? So that's the nature of my channel, and that's the that's the expectations of my audience too, right? So we'll do that. So the one thing to mention here, so I'm not going to edit these videos, right? So you know that I'm having a kind of a busy schedule, right? So weekends are some kind of free days, right? But when it comes to editing videos, cropping and splitting things, splitting the video, right? So these things are uh, I'm not a big fan of editing videos, right? So that's the main thing, right? So I'm not going to edit these videos, so I'm going to record this, right? So and I'm going to put it as it is into the YouTube, right? So maybe you can see maybe some kind of a sound issues, right? So maybe uh, screen sharing issues, so these can be there. So don't think about those things, just focus on the content and just get something if I am talking about that something you are really interested in, then take that. Don't think about these things because I am not editing any of these videos from today onwards because it's really time consuming and I don't have that much of time to do these stuff, right? So okay, let's move into the today's video. It's mainly related to our JavaScript playlist, right? So if you go to my channel now, you can see here in the screen, right? So we got playlist related to JavaScript, right? JavaScript development, right? So if you click on that playlist, you can see that there's only one video is there, right? So it's also, 5 to 6 months back, I was uploading this video, right? So it's been a silent time. So today it's the second video, as you can see in the screen. This is going to be the second part of this JavaScript video series. So keep in touch. I will upload videos frequently. Hopefully I'll be getting time so I can upload videos frequently, right? So today it's the second video. We are going to talk about JavaScript and its background more, right? So in the first video, if you remember, if you haven't watched it, please go to the first video and watch it, right? So then come back here, right? It's the best way, right? So today it's a second video and we are going to talk more about JavaScript background, right? So I got four topics today that we are going to talk about, right? So then let's get started, guys. Watch till then. Don't skip the video, so you will be getting some useful stuff. Yep. Let's get started, guys. So in our first video, if you have watched my first video, now you have some kind of idea how this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript works together. And we have done some kind of a really simple practical there. We have been adding some kind of a button to our HTML page, right? So when you are clicking on that button, our JavaScript listens to that event, right? So we are going to talk about these events and stuff in future in a very informative manner, right? So don't think about these things just for now. Just try to understand what I am going to uh, talk about, right? So what I'm going to say is, so what are the capabilities of JavaScript, right? So JavaScript is capable of making a static content dynamic, right? So you can do some really exciting things using JavaScript, right? So we are going to learn these things in upcoming videos. Keep in touch, guys, right? So today we got 4 topics here to discuss, right? So I am going to discuss 4 topics. So you can see this bulleted ones, right? So before going into that part, I should say that I am using this Typora, right? So this is called Typora editor, right? So I don't know whether I am using exact pronunciation. I don't know. I call it as Typora, right? So you can go to web and download Typora, because I am using a markdown, right? So I am using markdown. You are previewing some kind of a markdown document, right? So here uh, Typora is some kind of a editor IDE for editing your markdown documents easily, right? So I should say, please go and download Typora and use it if you are working with markdown contents, right? Because it's really easy to uh, really easy to edit your markdown documents using Typora, right? So now you can see in the screen how I was downloaded this Typora to my Ubuntu machine, right? So I am currently using my Ubuntu machine, right? So not the Windows one. So you can see the steps now. So when it comes to Ubuntu, it's just 4 commands away, right? So you just want to type 4 commands, and you can easily download Typora using apt get install, right? So it's in the package manager, right? So you can see in the screen how I've been downloaded this Typora, and I've been started the editor, right? So you can see it now. So I just wanted to let you guys know there's a editor out there to edit your markdown documents easily, right? So think about that. Go and download, right? Okay, now to the today's content, right? So I am going to talk about the JavaScript capabilities, right? So in there we are going to talk about this in-browser JavaScript and server-side JavaScript, right? So we are going to talk about these stuff, right? So then we are going to talk about specification, like how this JavaScript is made of, right? So what is how it is defined, right? So we are going to talk about ECMAScript, right? So maybe if you maybe most of you guys know heard about ECMAScript, right? So but we are going to talk more about that ECMAScript thing, right? So then the last 2 parts, these are mainly like we are setting up our background, right? So before moving into coding your next algorithm with JavaScript, so what we are going to do is we need to create our background, right? If you know what I mean, right? So we need to create our background first. So before doing anything, we need to have some kind of code editor, right? So I'm going to talk about one of these code editors that I've been using for last couple of years, right? So uh, yes, we'll introduce the code editor to you, so you can maybe use that, right? Or maybe anything that you can download and use for JavaScript coding, right? So we'll be talking about that, and then the developer console, right? So as software engineers, we tend to make mistakes. I mean, we are not robots actually, so we make mistakes. Okay, in our real life we make mistakes. So then it should be that we are making mistakes in our code too, right? Because we are humans, right? So we always introduce bugs in our code, right? So we need to find these bugs and we need to fix those bugs, right? That is half of the software engineering career, right? So I mean, if you are a software engineer, or if you are an IT professional, if you have been working with some kind of a code base, and you know what I mean, in your life, half of your life goes with fixing bugs in a code base, right? So to fix these things, we need to identify where the exact bug is, right? So when it comes to JavaScript, when it comes to these front end technologies, it is really useful to use some kind of a developer console. So when it comes to Chrome, Firefox, and maybe Opera, right? So any of these, they are integrated with some kind of a developer console, right? So we are going to talk about this here. I am using Chrome. So we are going to talk about how we can start our developer console, and uh, how we can identify where the actual bug is, right? So we are going to talk more about this in our upcoming videos. Here we are going to get some kind of a background, right, guys? So yeah, so let's move into the first one: in browser JavaScript and the server side JavaScript, right? Yeah, so you know that when it comes to these old days, that we know, this JavaScript only works with browsers, right? So we got some kind of let's say some kind of integrated program, right, to the browser. So we we can use that to compile, or maybe we can use that to convert our JavaScript code into machine language, right? So then it can be executed within the machine, right? So that's how that's what we know about JavaScript when it comes to this few years back, right? So but now it's not only in the browser side, right? So it's now in server side too, right? So when it comes to this Node.js, we can execute JavaScript in our server side too, right? So you should know about this first, right? So you got browser side JavaScript, and you can also have server side JavaScript, right? So that is the first concept that you should have in your mind, right? So what is this special program that we have been talking about? Some kind of a special program that has been integrated into the browser, right? So this special program is called JS Engine, right? So I have been adding this here, JavaScript engine. So this is the this is some kind of a special program. So again, I am repeating the same thing. So this is where everything happens, right? So when it comes to this JavaScript engine, uh, it has some kind of a procedure, right, to get your JavaScript code, to pass your JavaScript code, and do some kind of stuff, and then execute the machine code, right? So basically what it does is it has quite a complex process going on, right? So this video I'm not going to talk about these complex steps which are taken place in JavaScript engine, right? So but basically what it does is the engine takes your JavaScript file, right? So then it passes. So I mean, it reads your script, right? It can read your script. Or in more in I mean, in the computer programming world, we call this as passing, right? Passing a script, right? So it passes it, right? So then what it does is it will convert your script into machine language, right? So as a as a software engineer, you know that we can't execute English in our machine CPU, right? So we need to convert it into binaries, right? So it is converted into binaries, right? So then uh, it is going to execute the machine code, which runs pretty fast, I should say, right? So this is the basic procedure, basic process that happens within the JavaScript engine, right? So when it comes to JavaScript engine, you know, now JavaScript engine can be integrated. I mean, can be in the browser side and also in the server side too. In the both side, now we can see JavaScript can run, right? So that's because we can have JavaScript engine in browser or maybe in the server side too, right? So when it comes to, I have been putting some examples here in our markdown document, right? So here when it comes to JavaScript in the browser, so we got different, I mean, different engines have different code names, right? So that's why we got, when it comes to Chrome, or if I've been working with Opera, right? So we call it as V8 engine, right? So that's how it has named, right? So Chrome and Opera got this V8 JavaScript engine, right? If you are working with Firefox, it uses SpiderMonkey JavaScript engine, JavaScript engine, right? So when it comes to Internet Explorer, the old buddy, right, where we are using a Chakra, right? Chakra JavaScript engine, right? These are the code names that each browser use, right? But the basic concept is it is a JavaScript engine. What it does is it passes your script and convert into machine language, and it executes, right? Pretty fast execution, right? So hope you got some kind of an idea about JavaScript engine. So now it is not only in the browser side, right? So you can see these JavaScript engines in your server side too, right? So the best example is Node.js, right? So I know most of you guys have been working with Node.js, right? So it's all about, you can execute your JavaScript in the server side, right? If you got some kind of a up and running Node server, right? If you have up and running Node, then you can just execute your JavaScript code there, right? You don't want to come to the browser side and execute your JavaScript, right? So this is what we call as JavaScript in the browser, or maybe we call this as in-browser JavaScript, right? So then the other part is JavaScript on the server, right? So guys, you got the idea. Let's move on to the next part, right? Okay, next part is uh, when it comes to this in-browser JavaScript, because in this tutorial or in this video series, we are not going to talk about server-side JavaScript. That means we are not going to talk about Node.js, right? So we are mainly focusing on in-browser JavaScript, or the browser JavaScript, right? So we are going to work with browser JavaScript because this is going to be a JavaScript series which I am focusing for someone who is starting from the beginning, right? So we are going to focus on in-browser JavaScript. So the best thing is, when it comes to in-browser JavaScript, it's really safe, right? Why it's safe? So the reason is here that I have cited here, right? So it doesn't provide any low-level access to memory or the CPU in your machine, right? So that's how browser JavaScript works. It doesn't provide any low-level access to RAM or CPU in your machine, right? So that's why we call it as really safe programming language, right? Uh, but when it comes to this Node.js, it's kind of a really different story, because it can read write arbitrary files, or maybe it can even perform network requests, right? So that's how Node.js works, right? So that means this JavaScript's capabilities greatly depend on the environment it is running in, right? So hope you got the idea, right? So I mean, so when it comes to this browser JavaScript, it is mainly created for web page manipulation, right? Or maybe interacting with web pages, so interacting with the user, right? Or maybe interacting with the web server, right? So that is the main purpose of in-browser JavaScript, right? So that's why it has not made for accessing your memory or CPU, right? So having that in mind, let's see what are the capabilities of in-browser JavaScript, right? So it's really easy. So I have put some capabilities that in-browser JavaScript can do, right? So these are really easy ones, so you guys know these things. So first thing is it can change the existing content on the HTML page, right? So it can modify styles, it can work with styles, right? So then the second one, the really important one, so it can react to using user actions, right? So even for mouse clicks or mouse forwards, right? Or maybe mouse focuses, right? Pointer movements, so it can react to user actions. So one of the best things that we can see in browser JavaScript, right? So then again, it can send requests over network to remote servers and download and upload files from remote servers, right? So that's one capability that we are going to use in our series 2, right? So then the next two parts is mainly about these cookies. So based on these cookies, browser can ask questions from the visitor and it can show messages, right? And then we should talk about this client side storage. We call it as local storage, right? So these are the main capabilities that in-browser JavaScript has, right? So you should I guess if you're kind of a front-end guy, you really know about these points, but I just wanted to show these points. So if someone is starting from beginning, so he or she now know, right, what are the capabilities of in-browser JavaScript, right? Now we have talked about what are the capabilities of this in-browser JavaScript, right? So let's try to think about what are the things that in-browser JavaScript can't do, right? So we have been talking about this in this video too. I mean, in earlier part I was talking about this in-browser JavaScript can't access memory or CPU. I mean, can't directly access to these file systems. I mean, to the hard disk, and or it is not capable of reading or writing arbitrary files on the hard disk, right? So I was mentioning this thing, right? So and also I was talking about it can't copy or execute programs directly within the CPU, right? So that means it has no direct access to operating system functions, right? So that is one of the best things about browser JavaScript, because it's really safe, right? So if you need to do some kind of a file copy thing, or maybe to execute something within the CPU, then browser JavaScript not capable of do it alone, right? It needs your permission, right? So at least you need to drop a file into the browser window, right? Or maybe selecting it via an input tag, HTML input tag. So it needs your interaction, right? If you have camera or microphone in your laptop, say you have that camera or microphone in a device, right? So it requires users explicit permission, right? JavaScript can't execute or can't access to a camera or microphone directly, right? So it needs users explicit permission, right? So that is why we call it as JavaScript is free. So it's safe, right? So that's the final point, right? It is really safe, right? So the next thing is, when it comes to these tabs, right? So here I have opened a few tabs in my I mean in my this is my Ubuntu, right? So but in the browsers you can see you can open many tabs, right? So when it comes to these tabs, the JavaScript can't talk to if you have 5 tabs open, JavaScript don't know about each other, right? So sometimes they do. For example, if one window uses JavaScript to open the other one, then it knows about that one, right? So then but we can say even in that case, JavaScript from one page may not access the other if they come from a different site, right? So that's how it works. So that means we call this as same origin policy, right? Same origin policy. That's how we call it. So to work around, then both pages must agree for some kind of a data exchange and contain some kind of a special JavaScript code to handle it, right? So we will cover these things in upcoming videos. So keep in touch. So here what I'm going to talk about, what are the things that JavaScript can't do, right? So it doesn't know about different tabs, right? It doesn't know about each other, right? That's what you wanted to know at this point, right? So that's one thing, right? So another last point is uh, JavaScript can easily communicate over the internet, right, to the server where the current page came from, right? But its ability to receive data from other sites or domains, it is kind of crippled, right? So uh, it's sometimes possible, but it requires explicit agreement from the remote sites, right? So I mean, modern browsers sometimes allow this because it can use some kind of a plugins and extensions, so, which may ask for extended permissions, but normally JavaScript is not capable of this thing, right? So it is really important to understand these things, right? So we have been talking three things here, three things that JavaScript is not capable. So keep in these things in mind, right? You don't need to I mean it's really important if you know these things, right? So now you know about what are the capabilities of JavaScript, right? So and what are the things that JavaScript can't do, right? So it's really important before moving into the JavaScript directly and start coding the things, creating variables and creating loops. It's really important to know about the background, right? So that is why I've been talking about these things in a descriptive manner, right? So hope it helps, right? So now you know what makes JavaScript really unique, right? So that's because it is its full integration with the HTML and CSS, right? So and it can do very simple things in a very simple manner, right? So the next thing is it supports by all the major browsers, right? And the JavaScript is enabled by default, and each and every browser has a JavaScript engine integrated to that, right? So uh, these these are the things that makes JavaScript unique, right? So uh, we have been talking. I mean, it's kind of a theoretical video, right? So we have been talking for more than 20 minutes now, right? So uh, it's getting bit long, right? So I thought of I should do the next part in next video, right? If not, it is going to be a 30 or more than 30 minutes video, so it's not going to be a good one because as a person you tend to watch videos around 10 to 15 minutes, right? So this is this might be a bit boring because it's mostly about theoretical parts. I mean, we are trying to know about how how JavaScript works and what are the capabilities of JavaScript, right? And so from here onwards, from next video onwards, maybe we are going to do some practical things. We are going to start from the beginning how to code with JavaScript, right? But I think this is really important to know. These points are really important. Now you know about JavaScript, browser JavaScript. What is browser JavaScript? You know what it is, right? So and you also know you can execute now your JavaScript codes in the server side too, like using Node.js, right? So and you know why browser JavaScript is really safe, right? So what are the capabilities that it has, right? So and the things that it can't do, right? So if you know these things, then you have the best, you have good understanding about this language, right? About JavaScript, right? So maybe this will be helpful for you guys. From next video onwards, we are going to work hard. We are going to write some code. We are going to start from beginning, how to deal with JavaScript and its how to write our own code there, right? So keep in touch, guys. Watch the video till end, right? So make try to get something out of it. I'm not going to edit these videos, so maybe some kind of noises or maybe some kind of mistakes there, right? So then please let me know in the comment section. Let's meet from the next video, right? Bye bye.